This is what the fountain looked like before the wind damage. You know, we had a little wind damage. The fountain fell over. The little man fell onto this bowl, which fell onto this bowl and took out the whole front edge of the fountain. So it's 1, 2, 4 pieces. They're going to have to be put back on. I'm going to use play sand for a form and 610 adhesive to put it back together. I have 3 bags of play sand in the wheelbarrow and the main bowl of the fountain in the sand, and I'm going to place the pieces where they basically belong and glue it up with the epoxy. So laying the first piece in, I'm just working sand underneath it so where it perfectly supports where it's going to meet up with the broken part. I'm using some cardboard shims to add to support the weight over the sand. The cardboard gives, and I have some newspaper here to fill the extra gaps. Well, wetting down the sand a little bit to make it workable. I have the first piece laid in, and I'm about to apply the 610. I laid a nice bead into the crack, and I'm going to work it in with my putty knife. This one small piece broke out. And I'll work that back in there. 24 hours later, as you can see, the epoxy is set. And we have the bond between the this was 3 pieces. There's a mixing tip that comes with the adhesive. I used it yesterday, so what I'm going to do is just dispense it into a little cup and mix it. Didn't have to add any more water to the sand. I mounded it up to where it'll be a support for the additional pieces that I applied today. The cardboard shim is working perfectly, and the weight of the piece is holding it into place. I just placed it into the spot where it goes, give it a little shake, and the material squeezes up into the gap. Day 3, the sand is getting a little dry, so I'm gonna give it a little shot of water. This section looks like it's going to be a little bit low right here, so I'm going to build it up just underneath that spot with some folded newspaper. The sections are all glued up and filled. And we'll let this sit for 24 hours. So the fountain is all glued up structurally. Looks pretty good. Of course, this is the underside. Now the epoxy is the structural part. There could be some seepage, so I'm going to apply the sealant. I'm using Flex Seal liquid. And I'm just going to work it into the gaps. This stuff says it fully cures in 24 hours. So anything that didn't get sealed with the epoxy will be sealed with the rubber sealant. Okay, I sanded the surface with the silica sand and brushed off the excess. Now it will accept a paint. Quite a few fissures are still in the concrete. Lost it on the ground when it broke. So I'll be filling that up with fiberglass reinforced filler. The pieces on the ground there. All the voids are filled with the fiberglass reinforced filler. And I'm going to grind it down with the sander. After sanding with the grinder, I added a clear Flex Seal coating and then sprinkled sand all over the entire surface so it would accept the coating. I used Rust-Oleum textured spray to finish the job. Looks good, no leaks. If there had been any leaks, I would have just put another coat of Flex Seal on the inside. My trusty assistant, Corky.